securing ourselves before something really unfortunate has happened. The last week's incidents are just the point in case. So the same thing happens in organizations also. So if you really see the most technologies that we are using today, whether it's internet, whether it's operating systems, any technology you take, they were not designed with security in mind. They are not designed for the kind of usage they have been put to. So what that means is security is really an afterthought, right? And so think of it, like systems have been designed without security in mind, and now you're trying to patch and put security on top of it. So what that has led is a business, so that same thing applies to businesses. When they put together a business plan and all that, they don't think about security. So what happens is, when something unfortunate happens, then they have to go and fix it. And then security is always seen as something negative, right? It's seen as something that will incur cost and things like that. So we have to change that. Why? Because just think of what's the relevance of a brake to a car, right? If you don't have a good brake, you really can't have a speedy car. You need to put security in that perspective. Can you ever think about which came first? Internet banking came first, or security in internet banking came first, right? You can never have internet banking without security. So we need to change the image of information security that it's an enabler rather than an inhibitor. So what has changed in recent times, right? Like information security, at least last 2.5 years, has undergone through significant challenges. What are those challenges? What's leading to that? So first thing is that the information is really becoming more and more valuable. All the things that we are doing in non-digital world now is moving more and more to like information centric thing, right? So there's every application, mission critical things, government agencies, everybody is moving to information technology. So it's becoming more and more valuable, and so it's also attracting more and more people who want to attack it. Second, the amount of information is also growing significantly, almost exponentially, right? We generate a lot of information right now, like, in 10 years back, actually, it was so hard to generate even a PPT. Now, most of you have probably generated tens of PPTs every day, right? So, the amount of information that's being generated is very high. The infrastructure is getting complex. There were days when there was just an intranet or even just unconnected computer. From that, even if you see just last 2 years, virtualization, SOA, SaaS, cloud computing, right, Web 2.0, things are becoming more and more complex and at a very, very large rate, right? That's the context of information technology. And then what has forced is, because now the technology is being used by common men for like their day-to-day activities, government has actually kind of woken up to the thing, right? They are saying that people have to be secured, so they are putting more and more regulations. So what has that created is the business is now sandwiched, right? They have to continue using information technology but it's becoming harder and harder for them. They have to continue investing more and more money to make things secure. So how do you combat these challenges, right? I mean, if there is no more a case where you can secure everything, right? Things are being added at a large pace. You can't understand everything. You can't stop your business today and say, like, for 6 months I'm closing the shop, I'll fix everything and come back and start the business after everything is secure. You can't do that, right? So you have to do it as you go. So that's what I'm going to maybe present, in some of the approaches. These are some of the security breaches. Everything is vulnerable, right? This laptop has a lot of maybe confidential. It can get stolen. Your servers can can be hacked. So wherever there is information, it can and you keep hearing about bigger and bigger kind of attacks all the time, right? So why is protecting information so difficult, right? Just let's take a look at a typical IT organization, IT-driven organization, where how we are using a technology. So you will typically have a portal, and so I'm going to divide the things into 5 layers, right? So it all starts with storage, where things are really stored, and files where it's a structured information. Then comes to applications and databases which are built on top of those, and then there is a network using which these things are made available to wider audience. And then there is endpoint things like your iPhones or smartphones or laptops and things like that, right? So if you really see, information does not exist in here, right? Information always exists in infrastructure, and these are the pieces of infrastructure. This slide is trying to bring out the fact that it's becoming more and more complex. So there is an agency portal which is based on database. There's a disk storage to support it. Not only primary disk storage, there's a backup and all that stuff, right? And then you have a disaster recovery. some across the globe, something storing the same information. Then you have same thing being available through remote access, through VPN. And then you have the same person who is using this through VPN also doing some Gmail or internet kind of stuff, right, on the same machine. And you have access for email. Then you have some internal applications which are exposed to some outside supply chain partners. And then you have data warehouses, and so this is, remember, I have not even started talking about things like cloud computing or virtualization and all. This is about 6-month-old slide. Let me put it like that. If I were to put a similar slide today, it will probably be like a double, even more complex. So in each one of them, there is some or the other thing that can go wrong with the information. Now it depends on where the information is, right? The storage, somebody can actually steal the storage. The databases application, somebody can have unauthorized access to it. He can do malicious things there, and all the way from somebody can intercept your information. Somebody can send it over Gmail. So suppose he's on VPN, he can get some confidential data from the repository and actually send it to a friend on Gmail, knowingly or unknowingly. Both are possible, right? So how do you do this? It looks like a very complex world, right? How do you attack it? Right? You can't leave it as it is. There are compliances. You really care about your users. You don't want them to be vulnerable, right? So the idea is really something what we call risk-based approach. What does that mean? So I think first, so you have to figure out where is the information sitting. Then you have to figure out what bad thing can happen. Is this information valuable? Right? You don't want to there are some corporate emails you want to protect, but Gmail is not similar, right? So same thing applies, right? So you have to do that, and then you have to prioritize what are the assets, what are the informations that are highly valued, where should they sit, how will I protect that thing, right? And it's a complex exercise, and putting a PPT does not mean it's an easy thing to do. Because why is it difficult? Because people are just generating information right now. Nobody's questioning. The question of how important it is a really difficult question, right? So the